I knew something inside my marriage had died the moment my wife flinched away from my hand. But I wasn't prepared for her to bury it in front of 100 people. The ballroom lights glowed warm and golden, the kind meant to make everything look softer, safer, kinder. But nothing felt kind that night. The string quartet played some cheerful classical piece while laughter spilled from every corner. People moved in elegant circles, dancing, drinking, gossiping. I was watching my wife. Claire stood near the long mirrored wall, her silver dress catching the light like it was stitched with ice. Her smile was too bright, her laugh too sharp, like she couldn't afford for anyone to look too closely. For months she had felt distant, vaguer, slipping into silence, slipping out of reach. I kept trying to tell myself it was stress, exhaustion, pressure at work. But the truth was there in the quiet moments, the ones where she didn't kiss me goodnight, where she moved her phone away when I walked near, where she suddenly smelled like a different cologne. I told myself not to imagine things. I told myself to be patient. But that night, patience snapped. "Claire," I said gently, walking up to her, resting a hand on her arm. "Can we talk for a second? Alone?" She stiffened under my touch. Actually stiffened, like I was a stranger brushing past her on the street. Then, with half the party watching, she pulled her arm away and hissed, loud enough for every nearby head to turn. "Don't touch me." The music didn't stop. The world didn't freeze. But I did. Few people gasped. A few pretended they hadn't seen anything. A few exchanged knowing looks, the kind that burn like acid. I stepped back slowly, hands raised as though she had accused me of something violent. "Claire," I said softly, "what's going on?" But she turned away. Just turned. Like I wasn't her husband, like I wasn't the man who held her through every storm we ever faced. I left the party before my heart could embarrass me by breaking in public. And she didn't come home that night. The morning after. The house was silent when I woke. Too silent. I kept telling myself she'd walk in any moment, apologize, say it was the champagne or the stress or something we could fix. But hours passed and she didn't show. Around noon I finally called her. She answered on the second ring. "What?" Her voice was flat, defensive, tired. "You didn't come home. I stayed at Jenna's. I didn't feel like dealing with you." The way she said "you," as if I'd done something unforgivable, made my stomach twist. "Claire, talk to me. What happened last night?" She exhaled slowly. "Nothing happened. You're overreacting. Overreacting. You told me not to touch you in front of everyone." "So what?" she said sharply. "You grabbed me. I didn't like it." Grabbed. I had barely touched her. Something wasn't right. Something was very, very wrong. Before I could speak again, she said, almost mechanically, "I have work. We'll talk later." She hung up. But we didn't talk that day. Or the next. The first crack. On the third day, I found her in the kitchen stirring sugar into her coffee like she was punishing it. "We need to talk," I said firmly. She didn't look at me. "I'm tired. Please not now." "Claire, are you seeing someone?" The spoon clattered against the counter. Her jaw clenched, just for a second, and in that second every illusion fell apart. I felt it in my chest like a physical blow. She didn't deny it. "Who is he?" I whispered. "No one," she snapped. "Claire." Her shoulders sagged. "It's complicated." Complicated. People only say it's complicated when the truth is too ugly to say aloud. "How long?" asked. She pressed her palms to her eyes. "A few months." A numbness spread through me like frost. I wasn't even angry yet. Just hollow. "Do I know him?" My voice wasn't even my own. She hesitated. "Yes." And that hurt worst of all. I stepped away before I said something I'd regret. The gradual reveal. 2 nights later, she came into the living room where I sat on the edge of the couch, staring at nothing. She looked smaller than usual. Fragile. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered. "Then why did you?" My voice cracked like thin glass. Claire sat across from me, twisting the ring on her finger. Because I felt invisible. Invisible. My chest tightened. Claire, I've been trying. You kept pushing me away. And you stopped fighting when I pushed, she said bitterly. You let me drift. That's not fair. Maybe not. But it's how it felt. Her eyes glistened but no tears fell. Claire didn't cry easily. She didn't break easily. But something in her had been breaking silently for a long time. The party, I said slowly. You humiliated me. Why? Her mouth trembled. Because he was there. My blood turned cold. Who? She swallowed. Evan. My friend. My colleague. The man I had invited to our home for dinners. The man who hugged me at the party. Minutes before she told me not to touch her. He was watching, she whispered. And I panicked. Because you didn't want him to think you still loved your husband. Her silence was the answer. I stood up abruptly. The room felt too small, too airless. Get out, I said. She looked up sharply. What? Get out. I can't breathe with you here right now. She rose slowly, tears finally appearing. Please don't do this. You already did. She left without another word. Alone with the betrayal. The next 48 hours were a blur of memories. Good ones, painful ones, ones I wished I could erase. First date. Her falling asleep on my shoulder in movie theaters. Her dancing barefoot in the kitchen. Her whispering I love you with her face buried in my neck. All replaced now by images of her with him. Laughing. Touching. Sharing things she stopped sharing with me. The betrayal became a living thing. Breathing, whispering, crawling into every corner of my mind. On the 5th night, I finally texted her. Come home. We need to talk. The final conversation. She arrived quietly, almost cautiously, like she was entering a stranger's house. We can still fix this, she said immediately. I ended it with him. When? Asked. Today. Today, I repeated, letting the word cut between us. So if I hadn't asked you to come home tonight, you'd still be with him. Her silence answered again. I shook my head. Claire, why him? She hesitated, then whispered. Because he made me feel wanted. And I didn't. She closed her eyes. You stopped noticing me. You stopped letting me in, I said. You shut every door, then blamed me for standing outside. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it again. 'Cause she knew. She knew exactly what she did. Do you want to save this marriage? I asked quietly, though I wasn't sure why. I do, she whispered. I swear I do. But do you love me? Her breath hitched. Yes, do. I never stopped. I stared at her, searching her face, her eyes, her trembling hands. Maybe she believed her own words. Maybe part of her wanted them to be true. But the truth had already happened. It already lived in the space between us. You know what hurts the most? Yes. Not the affair. Not even the lying. She looked at me, terrified. It's that moment at the party, I said. You said, don't touch me, like my touch was the problem. Like I was the thing you were ashamed of. Her eyes flooded. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know, I whispered. But apologies don't unbreak bones. Or hearts. She stepped closer. Please don't leave me. I didn't leave you, I said gently. You left me first. Her knees buckled and she sank onto the couch, sobbing into her hands, the woman who never cried. But no part of me moved to comfort her. Because that part had been shattered. The ending. We didn't divorce immediately. Pain that deep doesn't decide quickly. But I moved out 2 weeks later. Not out of anger. Not out of revenge. But because every room in that house carried a memory that hurt to look at. Claire texted often at first. Can we talk? I miss you. Please let me fix this. But I answered less and less until eventually. She stopped texting. Some nights I still hear that moment in my head. Her voice. That cold, sharp whisper. Don't touch me. It's strange how a sentence can end a marriage faster than silence. Strange how betrayal can hide in the smallest corners. Strange how love can survive the deepest wounds. But not the one that says you are unwanted. I'm healing now. Slowly. Honestly. Maybe she is too. But the truth remains. Sometimes the moment that breaks you isn't the affair. It's realizing the person you loved most became someone who didn't want your touch. And once you see that, you can never unsee it.